Hey guys, so a couple days ago I put up a video asking you guys to ask me questions relating to school, and I actually got a lot asked, so I'm gonna get right into it. They're all on my iPhone. So the first question is high school just like it is in the movies? Not at all. Movies and TV shows make everything so much more dramatic. I don't really think anything that I saw in a movie or a TV show, I was like, wow, I remember that when that happened to me in high school, because it never happened. They want to entertain you on those TV shows, so they're gonna make everything over the top, crazy, and weird. I don't even know where they get half those ideas from, because I've never had anything happen to me that was similar. I'm going to a really small university with only 10,000 students. That's a big school. I do not consider that a really small university. I don't know. Like, I know some universities have like 20, 30, or 40,000, but like 10,000 is not small, because they have schools with only like 1,000 kids, so that is not a small school. That's like medium size. That's like medium large. Like, that's a pretty big school. Do you think it's gonna be hard for me to meet people as opposed to a larger university? Well, I went to a college with less than 10,000 kids, and I had absolutely no problem making friends, and I'm sure you will not either. 10,000 is a lot more people than you would think. Think about all the kids in like your senior class. I'm sure you didn't have 10,000 kids, and you had no problem making friends. You had no problem meeting new people. And like, I think 10,000 is like a good number. I mean, let's say, like, it's not gonna be very cliquey. Like, if you went to a small school where everyone dormed and it was like 1,000 kids, like, that's gonna be like a small little town where everyone knows everyone's business. So 10,000 is a good number. It is, though, on the larger end, so you're gonna have no problem making friends. Do you find the workload in your first year of college harder than high school? Was it a big jump? And if so, how did you cope? I actually took I don't want to say very easy classes, but I took the beginner intro classes my first semester, and that's what they say is the hardest semester is your first semester, because that's like the biggest transition, and that's when the most people like won't return. Like, I know plenty of people that did not return after the first semester because it was either too hard or it wasn't for them, or a whole bunch of stories. If it's up to you and you can make your own schedule, I would recommend not taking a whole bunch of hard classes at once. Like, if you can avoid taking all science classes or all math classes at once, I would try and balance everything out and take easier classes. And if you can, maybe take 1 or 2 electives, or just, I guess they'd call like unrestricted electives, where they don't really count towards your major, but you still need them as credit to graduate. So take like easier classes to balance out those harder ones. But I didn't really find the transition very hard, because I wasn't like overwhelmed with work. I didn't feel like I was up all night studying ever, because I had a good course load. Do you have any tips on taking notes, like anything on how to keep your notes neat and not rush them too much? Talk to your teacher and see if they'll allow you to bring a tape recorder and record his or her lecture, because I know some teachers allow that, and it does make things a lot easier, so you can play back the tape recorder and write down the notes and pause and like pick up again. Or see if you can bring a laptop to class, because I know it's sometimes easier to just type everything up, because you don't have to worry about like your hand getting tired, or your like font, or what's it called, your print looking a little messy. So ask if you can either record it or bring a laptop or something that you can write the lecture on. Maybe if you have an iPad, you can bring one of those. What has been your best subject in the past 3 years of school? I've always been really good at math. I mean, I don't really like it. Like, it's okay to me, but I'm good at math. I mean, I'm good at business classes too. I don't know if you'd really consider that a subject, but math and business are good classes for me, I guess. But I kind of want to also answer my favorite classes I've ever taken, because I think someone asked that. My favorite class in high school was video production. That's what kind of let me know how to edit movies, and kind of got me really interested in that. So I know I was able to apply my editing skills to my videos. I mean, I don't do anything fancy. I know how to do fancy stuff, like I know how to do green screen stuff and all that stuff. I said stuff way too many times. But basic editing I learned from the video production class. And my favorite class in college would definitely have to be my stage makeup class I took. That was the funnest, best class. Or maybe it was called like theater makeup, I don't know. But it was like a theater stage makeup class. It was amazing. It was so cool. I mentioned it in a video like a while ago. I don't know, you guys might have not even seen that video, but it was the coolest thing ever. We did so many cool things. Like, we did blood and guts, we did like aging, we did animals, like best, coolest class I've ever taken. How can I study for a foreign language class? I would recommend befriending someone in the class, because they know what you're learning and they kind of know how to speak the language a little bit, so you guys can go back and forth and quiz each other. It would be better than just picking some random friend that doesn't even take the same language as you, because at least you guys are both in the class together. You know like what the teacher's looking for, you learning the stuff. So I would definitely recommend trying to befriend someone in the class and group studying with them, or getting a whole group of people. But just definitely study with someone that knows the language with you, because like you're learning it. And if you have like a family member or a relative that speaks the language fluently, I would definitely try maybe having them read over some of your papers, or like asking them questions if you have any. Maybe even try YouTube. I know YouTube has everything on there. I mean, you're watching this video on YouTube right now, but YouTube has languages, so if you want, maybe you can YouTube it and see if there's any videos on tips or like speaking. But the one thing you have to be careful is anyone can put a video on YouTube, so they can give you wrong information. They can just make stuff up. So I would try and find like a good website, like a good username, someone that looks like they know what they're doing. Maybe they have a lot of subscribers or a lot of views. So either YouTube it, befriend someone in the class, or try a family member. And I know flashcards help with a lot of things too. What was your favorite year in school and why? I actually thought about this question for a really long time. Like, you might think like, really? But like, this was probably the question I spent the most amount of time thinking about. And I think it would definitely have to be my freshman year in college. That was by far the best year ever, or even just the first semester. I just had a really awesome time. I was out on my own, I was dorming. It was a really great experience. I made so many awesome friends. Like, it was kind of a lot of like firsts for me. Like, I was never like living on my own before. I learned a lot of stuff. I made a lot of awesome friendships. I had a lot of fun times. I don't know, it was just an amazing year. And even school-wise, I took a lot of great classes. Like I said, I took the stage makeup class, and I just had a really awesome time my freshman year in college. What are some tips for making up schoolwork and homework when you are vacation, sick, etc.? If you can, ask your teacher for the homework before you leave to go on vacation. I know you're on vacation, you're not going to want to do work, but definitely ask if you can get some work. And now if it's like a spur of the moment sickness, like, I mean, if it's a vacation, you probably had it planned out for a while, so definitely ask your teachers for homework. If you got sick out of nowhere, ask a friend to get you the homework that you missed, or ask your friend to give you notes. So while you're sick, I know you don't want to study, I know you're not feeling well, but maybe just try and like read a little bit so you don't fall completely behind. Or let's say you don't have that option, try and read up on some chapters, try and read ahead, so maybe while you don't have the actual homework, at least you're reading the textbook so you know what's going on and what you're kind of missing at the time, so then when you actually get the work, it won't be as hard. Do you have any advice for incoming seniors in high school, like with applications, time management, friends, relationship, etc.? College applications, oh, those were kind of annoying, but honestly, if you just sit down and do it, it goes so fast. I would recommend applying to a lot of schools. You always want to have like the safety schools and like the schools that you like know you're most likely to get into, and then kind of maybe your reach schools that you want to go to and like you just want to apply to. I know college applications do cost money, they're not free, but if you do have the option to apply to as many schools as you possibly can if financial situations aren't against you, but definitely apply to a lot of schools, and they go really fast, the applications. And ask for things ahead of time. I know that I asked for letters of recommendation at the end of the school year in junior year, and then I'd kind of remind the teachers, and then I'd be able to pick them up like the beginning of senior year. And as for your essays, definitely work on them little by little and ask people to proofread them, because you want to be able to put your like essay aside and come back a couple days later and read it over, because college application essay is a really big deal. I mean, it's kind of like a big determining factor in your application process, but applications can go really quickly. Like, they're kind of long and you might be dreading them because they are very repetitive, but trust me, just get to it and do it, and start early. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I meant to say start early with writing. Well, I mean, you should start early with your application, but start early with writing down your like your resume building stuff, like your volunteer hours. Like, trust me, like if you're in 9th grade right now, or if, yeah, I think that's when they start asking for it. If you're in 9th grade, start writing down everything that you did. Keep a log of it, so as soon as you start your college applications, you'll know exactly what to write. You won't have to be like, well, what do I have to do now? Well, I don't remember what I did in 9th grade. I don't remember what I did in 10th grade. So definitely start in 9th grade writing down everything that you did. Time management. I think everyone needs to work on time management. And honestly, you just really need to sit yourself down and say, you know what, I need to do this. Like, I feel like I really can't give advice on time management, because if you have no motivation to do your work, no one's going to really be able to help you. Friends, there are going to be a lot of new experiences, a lot of new friends senior year. Senior year is so exciting. I know, like, I had a lot of fun senior year, but definitely always don't forget about your old friends no matter what year you're in. Definitely make new friends, but I guess what's that Girl Scout saying, keep new friends, or make new friends but keep the old. Definitely stick to that one. That's a good saying to follow. That was really cheesy that I just quoted Girl Scouts. How do you deal with homesickness when living in the dorms? Also, time management. A lot of people want to know time management. I do have a study video coming up, which, no, the study video was before this video. I did switch my video uploading schedule, but go check out the study video if you want to know about that. And homesickness from the dorms. I know a lot of parents are much more on top of technology, so maybe you could like Skype with your parents so like you're actually seeing them, and it's kind of better than a phone call. And if you can, and maybe go home often. I'm not saying you have to go home every single weekend, but maybe go home a little more often than just like your break schedule. Or if you really are that homesick and you don't want to go far away, maybe go to a school that's only a couple hours away, so it's not that challenging for you to come home when you feel homesick. But definitely Skype often if you can get your parents on top of technology, or text them every day, see how they're doing. How can you start a conversation with someone on the first day of school? And this ties into the next question, which was, if you could give your younger self some advice on the first day of high school, what would you want it to be? So my advice to myself would definitely have been to be more outgoing. I wish I went up to more people and talked to them. Yes, I did have a lot of friends. Like, it's not like I didn't talk to anyone, but I wish I was a little more outgoing like I am now. And my advice to starting up a conversation is to talk to people in your class, because that's gonna be kind of the easiest. And like, let's say someone has a cute outfit on, like you say, wow, I really like your dress, and then they'll say like, thanks. You're like, oh, where did you get it from? They'll say where they get it from, and then like a minute later, or like kind of a couple seconds later, you can be like, wasn't that lecture so boring? Like, and then you can start a conversation about kind of how boring the class was, and then like go from there. But I remember in my class, I've started so many conversations with people either telling me they liked my outfit or I liked their outfit, and then from there you just need to bring up something you kind of have in common. Like, let's say they said they got it from the store Kohl's. You say, wow, I love Kohl's. Like, I go there all the time. Don't they have the best stuff? And then you can say, and then you can be like, oh wow, Macy's is really cute too, or I love Bloomingdale's as well. And you guys can go like back and forth. Once you had an experience or a story about Kohl's, you can throw that in there. But definitely try talking to people in your class, because that's gonna be kind of a more comfortable setting than if you just talk to some random person in the hallway. But I've started so many conversations with people and made a lot of great friends just from random things like, wow, I like your top. Getting lost was another one. I don't have the exact question, but someone asked me, how do you deal with that? Or like, it was something about getting lost in like college campus or high school. I would recommend going on a tour of the school, whether you're in high school or if you're in college. If you're in college, that's huge. The campus is ginormous, so you definitely want to go on a tour and figure out where all your classes are and where all your buildings are in comparison to either the parking lot that you're going to park at if you're a commuter, or in comparison to your dorm room. And definitely know where all the buildings are and what floor you're on and what your room number is. So I remember what I would always do with my schedule is I would go look at all the buildings and like figure out where I am, and I'd write like, okay, go in the main door, it's to the left, up the staircases, second door on the right. So like I would make that little note next to my schedule so I knew like where it was. And for high school, I remember walking through my campus, like we had like a I remember when I started my freshman year, they would let you like go on a tour of the school. So I remember when I did that, I would write down where all my classes are, and I'd say what they were next to so I knew where I was going. And write that on your schedule so when you look at it, you'll be like, okay, it's second level next to the bathroom, so you knew where that was. And I'd go through my schedule a few times, and if you can, maybe go back on multiple days. One time, like looking at your schedule if you want to go twice, and then the second, like, you know, like go through all your classes 2 times that day, and then go back another day and don't look at your schedule and see what you can remember off the top of your head. What important documents should I bring with me to college? I didn't think I needed really any documents. Like, I wouldn't recommend bringing your social security card or anything like that. Like, you wouldn't want that lost or anything. Like, I mean, obviously know your social security number, but don't bring anything really that important. Personally, I didn't need anything. I don't think Issa needed anything. I really can't speak from experience for that, but every school is different, but I wouldn't really recommend bringing anything. But maybe call your college, see if there's any documents you need. Advice for high school juniors, like looking for colleges and getting involved with your school. I think any grade should really be involved, because you don't want to say that junior year is when you started getting involved. You want to start saying you got involved in 9th grade, because that's when you're supposed to start like your timeline of things you did for your college application. So I think that you should get involved in a club that you like, or want your major to be. Like, I wanted to be a business major, so I was involved in my business club at my school. So I would say get involved in things relating to your major. And I volunteered at a local animal shelter, so definitely try and do things school related and non-school related. See if there's like volunteer work that you can do around, maybe like a local center. But I would definitely say get involved starting in 9th grade. And if you're a junior with applications, as I said earlier, with talking about applications a little bit, was definitely start early. How do you get a date for prom in high school? I actually took a friend of a friend. There was a guy in our group and I didn't know who I was going to go with, and I was like, I don't know who to take. And I did want to go with someone. I don't think you have to go with someone, so if you're going alone, who cares? Good for you. You do not need a date, trust me. But I went with a guy friend in our group's friend. So definitely see if there's someone in your group that has a friend that wants to go to prom, and ask someone younger than you. Because like, let's say it's your senior prom, 11th graders would obviously want to go. That's who I took. I did take someone that was younger than me, and who cares? I had an awesome time at prom. It was with kind of a kid that I just met, and I became friends with him before we went. And it was still a lot of fun though, but I would recommend maybe talking to your group and see if they have someone that they think that you would have as a good date. So someone said that they were a freshman in high school and they weren't very social, and their parents wanted them to be more outgoing, and their grades were still good though, but is it alright to ignore your social life for grades, especially if you don't want to be social? I definitely think that no one can force you to be social. No one has to tell you like go out and have fun, go out. Like, you don't have to go out if you don't want to. But I don't think you should completely ignore the social part of either high school or college, because that is still a big part of it. I'm not saying that it's the number one part, but you should definitely still be able to go out. Like, I know that you're like, okay, you don't want to be social, but you know what? Maybe try making some friends in a class that seem like they take school as a priority like you do. Try and find people that have that same interest, that school's number one for them. That's what they really care about. But I definitely think you should maybe try and be a little more social, be a little more outgoing. I'm not saying you have to go out every single night of the week and go out on weekends and always go out. But I think you should be able to find a good balance between your schoolwork and a social life. If your parents are telling you should go out maybe a little bit more, but if you're really that uncomfortable with that, then tell them. But I think that maybe you should maybe go out, try and find some new friends, or try and find a social group that has the same interests as you. But if you really feel uncomfortable, then you don't have to. And definitely don't join a sports team if you don't want to, because I know that was stated in the comment. There are clubs that you can join to make friends. So this person said they're taking the PSAT, SAT, and the ACT. Any advice? I would recommend not freaking out. Don't be nervous. I know it's a really big test, but if you freak out, it's just gonna make everything so much worse. So try and remain as calm as possible. And I know a lot of places offer like a class that you can take in preparation for it, and they'll give you like advice, tips, and like you can take a lot of practice tests, or you can buy the book yourself, but I would recommend taking some sort of class or buying the book. What would you recommend for back to school for clear skin? I probably have the worst skin ever, and I'm always trying to make it clear. My skin's getting a lot better, but I still have problem skin. But one of my favorite face washes at the moment is the Cetaphil bar soap. That's a really awesome soap, and it's affordable, so I would recommend maybe trying that one out. I use the antibacterial one, and I really like it, but I just have such problem skin. Best thing to do to get yourself awake and get ready for school in the morning. I actually really like getting ready to music. I think it kind of gets me awake and like going, and kind of like puts you in the mood. Like if you listen to your favorite songs in the morning, you'll be more awake and you can sing along and you'll want to get ready in the morning. And that was actually the last question. Hopefully this video isn't super long. I don't even know how long I've been talking for. I'm probably gonna have to edit it a lot because I don't want to bore you guys. I might have to edit out some questions. Hopefully I didn't though, because I have no idea how long this video is. But I will see you in my next back to school video. Bye everyone.